Hey friends, Mike here, and today I'm gonna talk about mastering a song in Reason. So what is mastering? Well, it's not magic, although it can seem to be sometimes. Usually mastering is used to make your track louder by using maximizing and compression. You also use equalization to shape the overall sound of the track. Sometimes you also use special effects on the master, such as exciters or stereo imagers. It is also fairly common to use an overall reverb on the master track. The reverb should then have a very low setting. It's just to glue the track together in the same acoustic space. Alright, let me show you some examples of how you can master your track in Reason. So this is the rack of a track I'm working on right now. And over here you have the master section. If you click on Show Insert FX, you can see all the devices in the mastering chain. And of course you can add devices manually as you want to, but you can also start with a preset. And I don't know if you can do it from here, but if you go to the mixer, press F5, and you check over here, you have the Master Inserts section. And here you can load the preset you want to use. By the way, when you're working on your track, I believe that you shouldn't have the mastering on, because mastering is the final stage in producing a track. So you should have this button on, which is bypassing the master section. And why do I believe this? Well, because mastering drastically changes the overall sound of the track, and if you have it on all the time, you might not do as good mixing choices. So if you want to start with the mastering preset, you go here, open, Reason Factory Sound Bank, all effect patches, mastering, and you have a bunch to choose from here. For example, if you're working on a hip hop track, you might choose this preset. In fact, let's try this. So as you can hear, the sound has changed. And if you go over here again to the master section, you see that this mastering chain starts with a compressor, then goes into an equalizer, and then a stereo imager, and lastly a maximizer. And you can see that this mastering patch has focused on the low bass, around 60 Hz or so, and the clarity frequencies around 3 kHz. You can see that it also has a low cut filter on 30 Hz here. And it's good to have because you should roll off the lowest frequencies because they just take up unnecessary headroom. By the way, you might have heard that word headroom a lot and don't know what it means. And you should look it up on Wikipedia or something. But basically it is the amount of space you have for frequencies in your track. Alright, so let's check out how this mastering preset sounds on my track. Have a listen. Alright, so I noticed some things here. First, it sounded way too bassy. Secondly, it didn't have that sparkle in the top. And third, I saw that the master fader was clipping, which it never should do. Alright, so let's get back to the rack and fix these things. Hit F6. And first let's fix the clipping. Just lower this a little bit below 0 to avoid the output clipping. Next, we should fix the bass, which was way too loud. And you can see that this preset has a boost on 60 Hz around there. So we could lower this to perhaps 1 decibel. And then the high end, they have a boost here on 3 kHz, but I want that boost in the high end. So just take this to the top and around 4 decibels or so. Let's have a listen now. Alright, so I think it sounds way better now. But I also want to try this stereo imager. Let's put it on. And yeah, let's go for something like 2 kilohertz, and all the frequencies above this frequency will be wider in the stereo field. Let's listen now. So to sum it up, mastering is the final stage of a production. Get the track louder by using a compressor and a maximizer. Use an equalizer to get the sound you want. And shape the track to sound as good as possible. So I suggest that you start by testing some mastering presets from the recent factory sound bank and see what they are like, what they sound like, what they look like, and so on. And then experiment yourself to find out what sounds good for the track you're working on. Alright, that's how you can master your track in Reason. Support me by liking and sharing this video. Add me on Facebook and Google+. I'll see you next time, and remember, you rock, my friends!
Remember to like and subscribe.